we can hear from a couple of our truck racers with Pointy down in the paddock.
So I said to him, you can't put that in there. No matter how hard you try, it's just not going to fit. He wasn't listening. Anyway, we're back here down in Parc Ferme with Jock Borthwick himself, having some technical difficulties yesterday, snapping an anti-roll bar. But we appear to have made a bit of welding on there, and it seemed to do you quite well out there.
Yeah, I'm going to make a career of welding. Yeah, there's potential in it.
You're all right at it then, by the looks of it.
I'm coming on, eh?
Yeah.
When I get a little bit older, I'll get better.
I think you should just do the other one to match now. I don't like the symmetry deal going on there. Fantastic start to the race, looking really good.
Yeah.
What happened in that last lap? Because it was up at the hairpin, we couldn't really see.
Went into Druids. The lap before, my front temperatures were getting a bit higher, so I introduced a little bit more water just to bring the temperature back. Fractured the front brake disc.
Oh.
Going into Druids, 80 mile an hour.
Yeah.
And one wheel locked up. I thought, oh no, like that. So I lifted off, but I was heading for the tyre, so I just had to flick it sideways, scrub the speed off, grab a gear, and get going. So I finished the last lap, and the brake disc fractured. Like I'm coming into Paddock Hill, and I'm thinking, I've only got one front brake here, but we've got third day, so the truck was a load better. So
Quite a common thing though, these exploding brake discs. I mean, even though they are race spec brake discs, we're talking about 40 kilos of solid metal that just explodes like a broken record, and you just lose all control. John Powell behind you here. Fantastic race from you as well, John. Well done, sir.
I'm almost happy for him.
It's great to see so many smiles down here in Parc Ferme after what has been a very interesting race to start the season. Let's go now and see who else we can find to talk to.
Well, thanks to Pointy there. I do the innuendos, Pointy. What's Stephen Powell doing? This is just on the way to the grid, for goodness sake. What's he doing? He did that at the first corner of race 1. Showing off to his local fans, no doubt. He lives just down the road from Brands Hatch, does Stephen Powell. Okay, getting ready for our second truck race of the weekend. For some, the race seems to have already started. Now, the grid for this one is set by the second fastest time by each driver in the qualifying session earlier. The reverse grids that we saw last year, they come in tomorrow's 3 races. So it'll be Ryan Smith in pole position, the race 1 winner in number 1, the 6-time champion. Alongside him, his arch rival David Jenkins, number 69 this time. Second row, 89 Simon Reed. We didn't see him in race 1, hopefully he's out for this one. And number 18, John Newell. Row 3, Mark Taylor, 81, and Stephen Powell, number 3, when he eventually gets to the grid. Row 4, number 68, Craig Reed, 46 of Bradley Smith. The 5th row, Stuart Oliver, number 7, quite a way down the grid, struggled a bit in qualifying, alongside Tom O'Rourke in 86. Then Ricky Collett, number 95, Simon Faulkner, number 92, and behind them we'll see number 12, Michael Oliver. He didn't set a time in qualifying, but he should be on the grid. Then we've got the Division 2s, a gap further back. John Powell and Jock Borthwick, who we just heard from, leading them away. Then Adam Bint and Brad Smith. Adam Bint should be out there. He's rectified his problems from race 1. Brad Smith alongside him. Then Craig Evans and Luke Garrett, and John Bowler rounds out the grid. Up to the grid they come then. A beautifully turned out pace truck supplied by Bint Racing, by the look of it, in position. Simon Reed has made it out. There's the other Iveco. 2 identical looking Ivecos from the Reed brothers. Stephen Powell, a bit of bodywork missing from the front of his MAN. We can see that's a legacy of race 1. Craig Reed, Bradley Smith, Stuart Oliver, Tom O'Rourke, Ricky Collett. Yes, Division 1 are all present and correct. There's Division 2, the DAF of John Powell. And Jock Borthwick, Adam Bint's back out. Brad Smith with his new paint job. Craig Evans, Luke Garrett, and John Bowler. We've got all of them. Full complement of 20 trucks to go racing here at Brands Hatch. Thanks to the classic touring cars. We will see one more race for them a little later on. Last race today, the Pre-03s and the Jaguars. Checking to see if there's been any changes to the results from our earlier races. Adam Bint, incidentally, did not complete enough laps to be classified in the earlier race. He was some 5 laps down, having been into the pits. But only retirement was Steve Powell with a bit of damage. No news on the MGs as yet. As we said, there could possibly be some changes to their results, but no news from race control as of yet. Ryan Smith with his new truck then, the Daimler-Benz chassis, effectively a Mercedes chassis with the Bagheera Freightliner body shell. It is a very cool looking truck indeed. We've seen the Freightliner raced by Ollie Janes in the British Championship a couple of years ago. Starting alongside David Jenkins here, man from Stafford in the number 69 MAN, the Digraph Transport Morris Lubricants MAN. The Reed Truck Sports Iveco's in there. Brothers running Reed Freight, based in Stoke-on-Trent. Many of these drivers connected to the road haulage industry. Mark Taylor, of course, one of the bosses of Taylor's Haulage. John Newell runs a container and tanker lorry business based near Sheffield. Stephen Powell, by contrast, owned one of the local pubs to Brands Hatch, the Portobello, just along the road from the circuit. Quite often see his race truck parked out the back of there. Good to see Ricky Collett's back on the grid as well. If ever you've seen one of those enormously heavy loads using the likes of pusher trucks and police escorts through your local area, it might well be Collett's Haulage handling it. I remember a couple of years ago, the local roads near my place in the Midlands had to be closed off to allow some giant oxygen tanks to make a journey to an industrial estate in Warwickshire from Liverpool Docks, and it was Collett's that handled that. So certainly the news reports on that were interesting to see how a load of that size is handled by Collett's trucks. Newcomer Simon Faulkner alongside him, number 92. Watched the championship for several years and last year decided to buy an Iveco and have a go. This will be a 15-minute race once again. John Powell at the front of the Division 2 pack. Good to see him back at the sharp end alongside Jock Borthwick, his second season. The Scotsman made his debut at this event 12 months ago. Frustrated to lose the win in race 1 after spinning at Druids. And Luke Garrett with his new truck. Contested the European Championship last year. There's a couple of British drivers race in Europe. Jamie Anderson, who we saw do the British Championship for a few years, the ex-rally driver. Shane Brereton as well, who raced at Brands Hatch at the end of last year. Now competes in the European Championship, which sadly doesn't visit the UK anymore. And there is John Bowler. Really is an impressive paint job on the Rochdale LGV sponsored machine. Good to see John back out. I've not seen him for a couple of years. Based in Stockport, starting behind Craig Evans. He was third in the Division 2 points last year behind Craig Reed and Stephen Powell, mainly through consistency than out-and-out speed. Now, has John Bowler got a problem here? Yes, the marshals are calling to somebody. I think John Bowler's got an issue here. That's the reason for the slight delay. Not sure what the problem is. We'll send Pointy, he'll sort it out. Pointy's day job, he's a plumber and gas engineer, so not sure what his experience with truck engines is like. To have Luke Garrett back, as we said, a two-time Division 2 champion. Is that Pointy on the pit wall there, just to the left? Could be. Whether he's got back over from the paddock, I'm not sure. It's work going on John Bowler's truck here, the reason for the slight delay to the start. The mechanics having a look at something. As you didn't see John Bowler appear at all in the series last year. It's Craig Reed who won Division 2 ahead of Stephen Powell, Craig Evans and Adam Bint. Bradley Smith appeared in Division 2 up until the final round at Brands Hatch, made his Division 1 debut. So that's 3 drivers that have made the move up a class. Michael Oliver appeared in Division 2 with the Scania last year. Has made a one-off appearance at Donington Park. Now back in Division 1 in what I think might be the ex-Martin Gibson truck, the GT Tyres MAN. Ryan Smith took the title last year in Division 1 by just 10 points ahead of David Jenkins. We did see a replay of the final race of last year during the lunch break. It all came apart for David Jenkins when Mark Taylor went across the grass at Clearways and harpooned him. Bits of truck went everywhere. Amazingly, they were all able to continue after the impact, and it was Ryan Smith who went on to win the race and the title. Division 2 very open this year, with some of the main protagonists having moved up to Division 1. A slightly smaller grid, but a much more open field for the championship. I reckon Jock Borthwick could be in with a chance in the number 32, the white MV Commercials MAN. One of 2 Scotsmen in the series. Tom O'Rourke is the other. So just this slight delay at the moment. Sorry for the slight pause in the action here. A problem for John Bowler on the grid with the number 14 DAF. And the tow truck is being brought in. So it looks like John Bowler will be a non-starter. He's going to be towed into the pits. Hopefully we'll see him back out tomorrow. It's a very impressive 4-axle recovery vehicle. Rather dwarfs the race trucks, doesn't it? And I did see, in the early days of truck racing, a breakdown truck being raced. In some footage from, I think it was at Zandvoort in Holland, one of the early truck races on the continent in the 80s. It was literally turn up with your truck, put numbers on it and race it, and there was a breakdown truck in the race. Probably also raced on the oval at Barlow in Holland, the 1 kilometre oval. Still sunny conditions here at Brands Hatch. We can see some of our show trucks there in the background, including a beautiful American Beast. Not sure if that's a Kenworth or a Peterbilt over there in the background. Blustery conditions we can see here. Certainly busy on the spectator bank heading up Paddock Hill and Halewood Rise. Truck racing does get very big crowds indeed. I think it's the second biggest crowd puller in UK circuit racing, behind the British Touring Car Championship. So just a pause here while we recover the number 14 of John Bowler. Sorry again for the delay here. Apparently that is a Kenworth that's in the show truck area, the American machine. Thank you to one of our YouTube commenters. These trucks are limited, as one of you have asked on there. Yes, one of the questions asked, the trucks are limited electronically to 100 miles an hour. The race trucks, I believe it's all done electronically now. They did used to be fitted with speed governors and speed limiters made in the early days of truck racing by the Lucas company in Birmingham. There's one of our intrepid cameramen on the roof of the grandstand atop the hospitality suites. He's got the best seat in the house. There's the pictures he's getting for us. Again, sorry for the slight delay at the moment while we have a truck broken down on the grid. John Bowler just being recovered. And in answer to another question, no, there isn't a DRS zone in this race. They just slipstream each other. There's the Brands Hatch control tower. Commentary box on the top, for many years, of course, for so many years, the domain of the late, great Mr. Brian Jones, who was the voice of Brands Hatch for many decades. And in particular, his favourite event, the Formula Ford Festival, held at the end of every year. Sadly passed away at the very beginning of 2020. 2021, I should say. We still miss Mr. Jones and his dulcet tones over the PA here at Brands. Jordan Clifford asked, what brand is Ryan Smith's truck? Well, it's a Daimler-Benz, aka a Mercedes chassis, but with a Freightliner body shell on top. If you follow Worldwide Truck Racing on social media, then there is an interview with Ryan about it on there you can catch. Well, there is the number 14 truck being towed off into the pit lane. So it looks like it's going to be 19 trucks again, sadly. Thank you to the recovery crews. Recovery crews, the marshals, the medical staff, everybody else here. We couldn't go racing without them. And the NYR recovery Mercedes there bringing the DAF into the pit lane. John Bowler's team. Bowler Racing team will look after that truck and hopefully get it back out as soon as possible. Oh, we've got more problems. That's Bradley Smith, number 46, now with problems. Is it? Yeah, I think he's overheating. It is about 20 degrees here at Brands Hatch. I think he's going to be okay. Just cooling the engine down there. Okay, Ryan Smith and David Jenkins ready to lead the rolling start away. Hopefully we'll see John Bowler back out tomorrow. 3 races tomorrow and reverse grids being brought in as well. The first race tomorrow, race 3 of the weekend, will see the top 8 in each division reversed from race 1's results. Race 4 of the weekend will be a reverse grid from this race. It's working slightly differently this year. Okay, here we go then. Ready for the rolling start. Pace truck leads them all. We really should be hearing Convoy right now, shouldn't we? I'm not going to sing it, don't worry. Of course, the singer and writer of the song Convoy, C.W. McCall, sadly passed away recently, the American country singer. One of the few examples of a song inspiring a film and not the other way around. 10-4 Rubber Duck. There are replicas of the truck from Convoy out there, the Mack. It'd be nice if we could have one of those as our pace truck one day. There's Adam Bint, the HVO fueled Volvo. Stephen Powell, a bit of bodywork missing from the front of his MAN, his first Division 1 meeting. Let's hope they all get through the first corner okay. Stephen Powell spun in race 1. Ready for our second race of the weekend for the British Truck Racing Championship here at Brands Hatch. 15 minutes of racing to come. Ryan Smith and David Jenkins, great rivals for so many years, on the front row of the grid. There's Michael Oliver. Father Stewart a little bit further up the grid in his Volvo. John Powell and Jock Borthwick head up Division 2. This will be a 15-minute race. Can Ryan Smith, the 6 times champion, going for 7 in a row this year, make it a double in the Daimler Freightliner at the front of the field? David Jenkins in the MAN alongside him. Simon Reed missed race 1, hoping to make up for lost points here in the Iveco on the second row. The power comes on and away they go down towards Paddock Bend for the first time. Good stop by Ryan Smith, good stop by John Newell. Moves in to the inside, will try and attack David Jenkins for second place. It looks as though Division 1 have all made it round Paddock Bend okay for the first time. It's a much bigger field of Division 1 trucks than last year. There's Division 2, 6 of them together. John Powell's got the lead as they head through Paddock for the first time, chased by Borthwick and Adam Bintz. Everybody round okay so far in Division 1. It's Ryan Smith who leads the way from David Jenkins. Third place is John Newell. Stephen Powell's made a good start, up in the 4th place in the number 3. There's Craig Reed, side by side with Stuart Oliver. A bit of rubbing between those two. Down the straight, Oliver off onto the grass in the Volvo, the 10-time champion. Ryan Smith in the other bonneted truck leads the way. Oh, and a tangle there, that's Michael Oliver and Craig Reed. Well, Craig Reed managed to hit both of the Oliver family there on the Cooper Straight, and he's tangled with Michael Oliver. They spin out onto the grass. Completing the first lap, it is Ryan Smith leading, David Jenkins in second. Let's have a replay of what happened there into Surtees. It looked to me as though Craig Reed, as he came back off the side of Stuart Oliver, he hit the other Oliver Jr. off onto the grass. The leaders meanwhile head up Halewood Rise. Ryan Smith leads David Jenkins, John Newell in third. Stephen Powell going well in 4th place in his slightly lightened truck with that front bodywork missing. Down towards Bottom Bend. Is it going to be a second win for that mightily impressive looking new truck of Ryan Smith? Simon Reed going well, number 89, the older of the brothers. Stuart Oliver recovering that little bit of rubbing with Craig Reed, chasing Bradley Smith, who's cured his overheating problems for the time being. Bradley, the youngest man in the race, made his debut in that truck at Brands Hatch at the end of last year. John Powell leads Division 2. He's got ahead of Simon Faulkner on the Division 1 trucks there. Jock Borthwick and Brad Smith, number 16, next in Division 2. In the number 16, I'm not sure what colour you'd call that car. Sort of a beige colour, isn't it? Chased by Adam Bint in the number 5. I'm sure the team will clarify what colour they prefer that to be known as. Towards the first corner of Paddock Hill Bend, Simon Faulkner, the newcomer in among the Division 2 trucks there. Luke Garrett a little bit further back, just getting used to his new truck. It's Ryan Smith who leads by 1.2 seconds now. John Bowler leads Division 2. John Powell rather. Adam Bint fighting it out with Brad Smith. They're almost side by side into Graham Hill Bend in the Unity Recovery and Midland Truck Breakers. Daff, hopefully he won't be breaking this one. Adam Bint had problems in race 1, finished 5 laps down. Looking for his first points of the season here. It's John Powell rather, continue. Sorry, I always get those two mixed up. It's John Powell who leads Division 2, my apologies there. Here's a replay of Simon Reed chasing Stephen Powell. This is the battle for 4th place through Druids Hill Bend. John Newell ahead of them. The first two have broken away slightly now. There we see side by side between Stuart Oliver and Bradley Smith. Oliver gets through as Bradley Smith slides wide. He was heading for the Rallycross circuit there. The old Rallycross course used to turn left just beyond Druids and head across the known as the Knife Edge, the top of the spectator area. Little problems there, a tangle between Brad Smith and Adam Bint. We saw they were battling closely, they've tangled at Druids. Brad Smith clears off. Poor old Adam Bint, I think he may have damaged the suspension there. Right, let's have a look again at what happened there. Adam Bint up the inside, that was never on, and walloped. Straight into the side of Brad Smith. Not enough room for 2 trucks side by side through there. And I think Adam Bint may have damaged his left front suspension. Yep, he's out. With that truck abandoned there on the track, will we see a race stoppage? Adam Bint needs to get back from the edge of the road there with the race still going on around him. The lead gap was 1.5 seconds last time through. David Jenkins trying his hardest to stay with Ryan Smith. John Newell further back in third place, then Stephen Powell still holding off Simon Reed. Behind them, Mark Taylor in the number 81 MAN. Then a gap back to Stuart Oliver, Bradley Smith, Tom O'Rourke and Ricky Collins. Then the gap back to Division 2. Between Division 1 and 2 is about 6.5 seconds at the moment. Simon Reed, first race of the season. He missed race 1 with a few problems after qualifying. Trying to chase down Stephen Powell for 4th place. There go the leaders. Smith from Jenkins, as we've seen so often before. And Adam Bint still on the track there. He needs to be signalled back. Shouldn't really be staying with his truck. That's in a dangerous position there if anyone is to go off on the outside of Druids there. Where is he going? I thought the race may well be red flagged with Adam Bint's truck that close to the edge of the track, but it is continuing. There go the leaders. Their gap has increased this time through, I think. Ryan Smith from David Jenkins. 9 minutes of the race still to go. Simon Reed still trying to get past Stephen Powell for 4th place. The lead gap's increased, but only by a couple of tenths of a second that time through. Pick up on Division 2 when we can as well. Mark Taylor on the tail of Simon Reed. There's Bint's truck abandoned on the outside of Druids. The driver seems to be treating it as if he was in a lay-by beside an A road, didn't he? There is our Division 2 leader, John Powell. That's Michael Oliver. He's a Division 1 truck, got delayed in that tangle with Craig Reed, ahead of Jock Borthwick. He's second in Division 2, the number 32. Then Simon Faulkner. So the 2 divisions overlapping here. Simon Faulkner back in 14th, only a couple of meetings into his career, made his debut at Pembrey last autumn. Further behind them, Craig Evans is 3rd in Division 2. Then it's Craig Reed, there he is. No, Craig Reed's got back ahead of Evans now, as he recovers from his spin earlier on. Then Luke Garrett, then Brad Smith after his off. John Bowler showing us having joined in with the race. I think he is running further back, John Bowler, showing us having completed 5 laps. So he did join in from the pit lane. Halfway through this 15-minute race. Spring sunshine of Brands Hatch. Ryan Smith leads by 1.5 seconds ahead of David Jenkins. It's John Newell, Stephen Powell and Simon Reed. There's Stuart Oliver back in 7th place in the number 7. Bradley Smith in 8th place. Ferns Group liveried MAN. That truck was in plain white last season. Does look good in its new livery. Tom O'Rourke and Ricky Collett next. O'Rourke a bit wide there through Clearways. Lead gap remaining the same, so David Jenkins not allowing Ryan Smith to get away too far here. A little bit of smoke from Ricky Collins, number 95 there, and there is, well, that would have been a battle in Division 2 last season, but Craig Reed has upgraded his Iveco. He's now in Division 1. Caught up with Michael Oliver early on, chasing Borthwick here. He should get the advantage. Meanwhile, Simon, his elder brother, on the tail of Stephen Powell. He has been for the whole race. He just can't quite get a break to get alongside the number 3. There goes Ryan Smith. And now they're side by side coming through Surtees. Stephen Powell still staying ahead. This is allowing Mark Taylor to close up as well in the number 81. Side by side this time. Simon Reed's got the inside line though down to Paddock Bend. He could get past here with a bit of luck for 4th place. He's on the tighter line and Reed goes through up into 4th position. Now Mark Taylor's going to have a go at Stephen Powell as well. The 2020 Division 2 champion, Stephen Powell. Second on his title defence last year. Well, there are the leaders. They've checked out in front by nearly 8 seconds now ahead of the third place fight. Ryan Smith and David Jenkins separated by 1.5 seconds for most of the race. It's a beautiful, very continental style bonneted truck. The Bugera Freightliners run in the European Championship by the Czech-based team of Martin Kolok. Adam Lashko was one of their leading drivers, if I remember rightly, in the European Series as well. Using Daimler-Benz chassis. If it's the same chassis as used by Ryan Smith last season in his Mercedes, and that was built by Norbert Kish, the Hungarian driver. So very much a continental truck, this one. Oh, Ricky Collett's out. Ricky Collett, back when he last raced in 2019-2020, had endless engine problems, that MAN, and it's let him down again. We haven't seen Ricky Collett race since he had that big accident at Thruxton in 2020 when he rolled his truck. I remember many years ago, I believe it was Chris Hodge who got his truck upside down here at Brands Hatch. And then they sent out the famous wheelie truck of Steve Murty to entertain the crowd while they rebuilt the barriers from his accident, and Steve Murty proceeded to roll his wheelie truck as well. There's the battle for third place. John Newell being caught by Simon Reed. Good to have Simon back out, been busy with work commitments over the last couple of years with Reed Freight. It's his brother who's been getting on with racing. Stephen Powell caught by Mark Taylor. Behind them we've got Stuart Oliver. Relatively quiet race for Stuart here, down in 7th, ahead of Bradley Smith, O'Rourke and Michael Oliver, Oliver Jr. in 10th. John Powell continues to lead Division 2. Could he mount a serious challenge for the title in Division 2 for the first time? See him in the background there, just ahead of Simon Falk. Simon Reed looking for a podium. 3 minutes of the race to go. The lead gap has increased last time through by about a second as well, 2.6 seconds in it now. So Ryan Smith just beginning to pull away from his arch rival of many years, David Jenkins. No love lost between those two on track. Simon Reed, meanwhile, all over the back of John Newell now. He's caught the Yorkshireman. Started in Division 2 several years ago, then was absent from the racing season for several seasons while he built up his business. Returned a couple of years back. And a couple of wins last year. Down the hill, through Graham Hill Bend. Stephen Powell still ahead of Mark Taylor. Stuart Oliver closing on them now. Personal best lap last time through for Simon Reed, 59.61 seconds. He is turning up the heat on John Newell. His last lap was a 60.344. So losing a bit of ground there. 9 seconds behind David Jenkins now. There's John Powell still leading Division 2. He's got the Division 1 truck of Simon Faulkner and Craig Reed behind him. But we know Craig was delayed earlier on. Jock Borthwick still second in Division 2, and third is Craig Evans, Mr. Consistent when it comes to Division 2. Not the quickest driver out there, but always in the top 3. There's a yellow light on there coming through the exit of Paddock Hill. I would suspect the yellow warning is out for stranded truck there. It's been out for much of the race. Adam Binns is stranded there. And of course we've got Ricky Collett as well. Brad Smith with a bit of damage. He's the man who tangled with Adam Binns. He's just been lapped. Just over a minute left on the clock. We might get 2 more laps out of this. Going to be close again, just as it was in race 1. Ryan Smith over the line. Yes, I think we'll get 2 more laps out of this. He's run wide there. There's John Bowler. I thought he'd got going again. Number 14. He's only shown as having completed 8 laps so far, though, so I imagine, like Adam Binns in race 1, he won't be classified. Powell continues to lead Division 2. And now Craig Evans is having a go at Jock Borthwick, and Luke Garrett's in there as well, so we've got a battle for second in Division 2, and Ryan Smith has got a lap this lot very shortly as well. Maybe hoping he doesn't catch them before the end of the race, so he won't have to make his way through. One false move, he'll be on the side of the track on the dirt, and David Jenkins will be on it. The gap was 2.7 seconds. Is it going to be checkered flag or end of race this time? Across the line comes Ryan Smith. No, one more lap to go. Just got to the line in time to start a final lap. Coming up on John Bowler in the Union Flag liveried machine. Reminds me of the old Leyland Road train raced by Brian Garnett. That had the Union Flag design on the front. Gertie, as she was known. I believe Gertie held the world speed record for an HGV at one stage. They can do a fair speed when you take the limiters off. On the last lap now, Ryan Smith. He's got to negotiate the back markers now, and John Bowler's not giving way here. David Jenkins is closing in. Now Smith makes the lunge. Through he goes. Excuse me, John Bowler. He says, oh, he's got caught up with him. I thought that might happen. Smith's into the gravel. David Jenkins is going to win it. Oh my goodness. I had a feeling something like that might happen with the back markers. David Jenkins can't believe his luck, and he takes the win. Oh, there's going to be tempers frayed after that. We saw John Bowler initially didn't move out of the way. Then Ryan Smith moved back to the other side at Clearways. I thought he got through at the inside, but the two trucks got caught up together. And David Jenkins says, thank you very much, I'll steal the win. Let's see if we can see what happened there. I don't think John Bowler realised that Ryan Smith was there. And Ryan Smith is going to be a very angry man as a result of that. His big rival David Jenkins takes his first win of the season. Meanwhile, John Newell is third, ahead of Simon Reed. He held him off to the end. Stephen Powell fifth, ahead of Mark Taylor. Stuart Oliver down in seventh, a subdued race for him. We'll confirm the rest of the results in a moment. John Powell wins Division 2 for the second time this weekend. Well, we saw John Bowler initially didn't move coming into Surtees. I think John Bowler just didn't know Ryan Smith was there. David Jenkins who snatches the win on the last corner. I said a lap before the finish Ryan Smith would need to be careful through the back markers, and hoping that he didn't meet all of them at once. And it's David Jenkins who snatches the win ahead of Ryan Smith, who goes off on the last corner, tripped over John Bowler. John Newell third ahead of Simon Reed. Stephen Powell completes the top five ahead of Mark Taylor. Stuart Oliver down in seventh ahead of Bradley Smith. Then Tom O'Rourke and Michael Oliver completing the top 10. John Powell home in 11th place, he wins Division 2. Simon Faulkner next ahead of Craig Reed, the two Division 1 trucks. Luke Garrett gets second in Division 2. He got past Jock Borthwick late on there, the 14th overall. And behind them was Craig Evans, so he drops to fourth in Division 2. And then next through Brad Smith. John Bowler was the final finish, although may not have completed enough laps to be classified. And we lost Ricky Collins and Adam Higgins. There is, doubtlessly, extremely disappointed and probably very angry Ryan Smith. It's out of the number 1 truck, and let's hope that tempers don't boil over here. We know Ryan can be pretty volatile at times. But it is David Jenkins who takes the win and gets his championship challenge underway. What an extraordinary finish that was. Well, hopefully we'll hear from Pointy down in Parc Fermé when we can. There'll be a short break next up before our next race, which is the Classic Touring Car Racing Club. The Prio 3 touring cars and the Jaguars will be next out on track. That's a little later on. That's coming up in about 20 minutes or so. Recovery vehicle in place again. That's the LJ Transportation 3-axle recovery vehicle with Adam Bintz. Not the weekend he was looking for, the Oxfordshire driver so far. Finished unclassified in race 1, having made a pit stop, and now taken out in a collision with Brad Smith at Druids. The Orange family sweeping up. But controversy kicking off already, as it always does in the British Truck Racing Championship. 3 more races to come tomorrow from them. And reverse grids involved as well. The reverse grid for the first race tomorrow, race 3, that'll be based on the results of race 1 that we saw earlier. The top 8 in each division reverse. So it's a full reverse for Division 2 because there's only 7 trucks entered. And the top 8 in Division 1. The race we've just seen, the same thing will happen, but that'll form the grid for race 4. And then race 5, I think, is based on the result of race 3 tomorrow. So that's how it works this season. Slightly differently, it's not a reverse grid for every race that we saw last year. Well, hopefully we will be able to shortly hear from the drivers down there after that extraordinary finish to our second truck race of the day. So just a slight pause here while we get the track cleared. Hopefully we can hear from Pointy shortly, and then there'll be just a short break of about 15-20 minutes or so, and then we'll get back underway with our final race of the day, the Classic Touring Car Racing Club Pre-2003 touring cars and the Jaguars as well. There's a double win in the Jaguars at Silverstone for Tom Robinson in his supercharged XJR6. And in the Prio 3 as well, they ran in with the Super Tourers at Silverstone. We haven't got the Super Tourers here, sorry, this weekend. And it was Gary Preble who dominated them. So you can see the recovery operation being made here, something a little different for you. Getting the truck hitched up to the recovery vehicle. I thought the front suspension may be broken there, so they've had to lift the front of the number 5. Right, we can shortly hand down to Pointy in Parc Fermé, and he can talk to some of the drivers in just a few moments' time.
And that's just the way it went. I couldn't believe it either. Hi, welcome back to the paddock down here at Brands Hatch, where you've just witnessed quite a phenomenal end to race 2 here at Brands Hatch weekend. We saw some issues in the last lap taking away Ryan Smith's first place lead to give it to Dave Jenkins. I'm sure there's going to be some very strong words spoke to each other later on. Ryan Smith's removed himself to have a calm down, very respectful of him. But now let's go and see if we can find some more chill drivers over in Parc Fermé. As you can see, they're making their way down from the circuit now. So we'll let a couple park up and we'll go and have a walk over, shall we? Keelock, my man, if you want to come with me. Absolutely incredible race. A bad start early on though for Craig Reed and Michael Oliver, having some issues there. Massive shame. Stuart Oliver doing quite well though to recover from what some might say he could have caused possibly. John Newell taking another third place podium finish. Watch your back, there's a race truck there. Where is he? That's Craig. They're probably still keeping the top three. Ah, right. I can see Steve Powell, number 3, over here. If you could follow me across traffic. He'll wait for us. Wait. He stopped eventually. Now go on. You see, it worked. It worked. I have the power. Right. Wait for Tom O'Rourke to get out of the way as well. Dash. So, no idea how this looks, but still fantastic weather here at Brands Hatch, so the track conditions were perfect, although the tyres do get quite hot and that can cause issues with traction later on in a long race like that. Steve Powell, the man himself, in the absolutely fantastic looking number 3 Dine sponsored race truck. Steve, now that, I know it might not have been the result you wanted, but that was a fantastic race to watch.
It was the result, to be fair. I'm over the moon, considering how we started this weekend to finish 5th in the first weekend in Division 1. Very happy.
Drove the socks off this. Yeah. What a great tussle. I mean, you held on. What was it like out there? Because it was quite an action-packed race, considering.
It was. I had a blinding start. I was on my own, really. I had a bit with Simon, and he got past. I dropped a gear to try and do something different, and it didn't work. And then we was gapping Mark, and it was good. I'm so happy with it. We've had a lot of issues this weekend, and for the team and for the supporters and the sponsors to come here and finish 5th in Division 1 with a field of 13, I'm going to hold my head high.
That's good.
Today, I'm taking it. Absolutely.
That's the first weekend in Div 1, first race in Div 1, and a good result, especially considering you guys didn't get to see this, but yesterday in testing we had a bit of a whoopsie. We lost a spring, which sent him veering off left into the gravel, into the tyres, and it was a bit touch and go, wasn't it?
A little bit, yeah. I don't know what was touching, but something was.
Something was touching cloth, I'm sure.
and then today with the spinner, that was quite exciting as well.
Yes,
so,
yes. Oh yeah, you like your 360s, don't you, on Paddock Hill?
I have to do one at the first event of the year, absolutely, without a doubt. But I mean, the way I look at it, it can only get better, and it is. So we're definitely positive and very happy.
Absolutely fantastic. Now, were you in any kind of position at the end of that race to see what on earth went on with Ryan Smith?
No, I've just heard that he went round the outside, but I definitely see him in the gravel.
Round the outside?
He was in the gravel. That's
round the
what
outside.
So, no, but someone said that he went to overtake him and Jenkins come up the inside, but Ryan was definitely in the gravel, because as I come around there were stones everywhere, so I don't know how he got in the gravel.
Oh.
Driving.
Well, we don't know. We don't know. So maybe it's not fisticuffs at dawn. We'll have to find out more as we go along.
On the other note, he might not be invincible, and he might have done it by.
You got that on tape. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. That's fighting talk, though. Watch your back. Watch your back. Well, I'll probably be in front of you, so you'll be okay. Anyway, take care, Steve. Thank you very much. Right, let's go now and have a quick chat with Garrett, if we can find him. Luke Garrett returning back this year. Quite ropey start to the weekend, really. Not doing too well with traction at the back of his truck. Having some issues. Is Luke knocking about? Where is he? He's talking to Craig. I've walked straight past him. Luke, come on over for a moment. Here we go. Let's spin around. Let's get you with this really calm, quiet, inconspicuous looking truck, the Apollo Tyres everything truck. Very snazzy. We were just saying to the audience out there that you had a bit of a rough start to the weekend, quite a bit of back end issues from what we could see from the spectators. Have we sorted that out? You seem to do a lot better in that race.
We've had a slight issue with the throttle, and it was working fine. So what it keeps doing, it keeps coming in and out on a corner, so obviously that's hence all the back end. But for some reason it was working lovely. So I made a bit of a mistake on the beginning, and Craig got past me. But yeah, just kept on plugging away, and then Jock made a couple of mistakes. So yeah, good result really.
But it's looking good. You're feeling a bit more comfortable with it now?
Yeah, it feels really nice anyway. It's just the fact I think it's just having a year out of. I know I race in Europe, but it's a bit different racing these. So
yeah, because as I say, you were working with Tom O'Rourke's team last year, weren't you? Did that give you an insight into different ways of doing things, perhaps, or did you take anything away from that?
Took away a lot, to be honest with you. You learn a lot going out into Europe, but yeah, I mean, especially how we've built this truck, I've used a lot of ideas off of the European truck. I know it's only Division 2, but
no stolen parts, I'm sure. Obviously, we're just borrowing it.
I meant ideas.
Oh,
not
okay, yeah.
But no, yeah, I've definitely learned a lot from going to Europe, and hopefully one day we'll be back there.
That's fantastic. Well, good luck for the rest of the weekend. Thank goodness, not too much work for any teams to do tonight, bodywork wise. I mean, yeah, there is a bit of bump and tickle, but it's fine. I mean, there was no red flags. A weekend at Brands Hatch, 2 races in, and no red flags, no restarts. Have you ever witnessed that?
No, it is pretty impressive. Yeah.
Pretty impressive. Then again, so is the weather. Thanks very much, Luke. Good talking to you. Welcome back to the championship. Yeah, let's go and have a quick look at the damage we can see here over on Team Iveco. So the number 68 looking rather worse for the wear. We've got some serious, that's broken, that is. Key, can you get in there? You see that? That fiberglass bit there, that's supposed to be over there. It's not good, The door, this is a new feature. This is called the concave aerodynamic. It creates like a negative pressure zone just next to the pillar, so it goes quick around. That's right. Yeah. No, it's a dent. It's a big dent. It's a very big dent. Is he knocking about? Where is he? Is he hiding? He's gone back to camp. Oh right. He looks in calm down mode. Let's leave him alone. One person we haven't had a chat to just yet. If we've got time, we've got a nod from the cameraman. It's looking good so far. Let's see if we can find the lad. Oh no, actually, there we go. John Newell. Here we go. And John Newell taking a very consistent another third place. John, how are we?
Good, mate. Yourself?
Yes, very well, very well. Good result. Obviously not probably what you wanted, but another podium finish, and that's consistency.
Yeah, just keep racking up the points. We were in 4th. Tyres went off really, really quick, so we just got in 3rd and just settled and just kept plodding along and just keep finishing consistent. That's all that matters.
I think with the tyres, obviously a lot of people have had the opportunity to use these for a few seasons now, but with the temperatures we're experiencing this weekend, I think it's a learning curve for a lot of teams with regards to pressures.
Yeah, it is for us because we've never run on GTs before. We've always been on Goodyear, so this is the first time we've ever used them.
But so you're doing very well on GT.
We're doing all right. We're getting there. We're not too bad at all. We just keep plodding along.
Yeah, and so I'm asking all the drivers, did you have an angle of what happened last lap there with Ryan Smith?
No idea at all. Too busy concentrating on what was going off behind me.
Well, that's what should be happening. This is what should be happening. But fantastic race. Looks really solid on the track. I mean, you've told us the tyres went off, but we wouldn't have guessed from the sideline. So fantastic effort. Great driving.
No problem. That's brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for joining us. Speak to you later, John. We'll see you for another trophy in 5 minutes. Okay. We'll get some silverware handed out. I think everybody's got quite a bit of talking to do now, so I'm going to leave the guys down here in Parc Fermé. We're going to go and have a chat behind the scenes with a couple of other drivers, and I think I'm going to throw it back to Dave in the studio to see how things are getting on over there.
Well, we'll leave Pointy to get his breath back, and a few of our drivers as well. 1 or 2 of them going to just cool off after what was a very highly charged second race of the weekend for the British Truck Racing Championship. But thanks, Pointy, down in Parc Fermé down there. Always insightful from the paddock with our truck racers, and thanks to Ewan this weekend as well. We're going to take a few minutes break from the action now, just a quick tea break, and we're back on later with the Classic Touring Car Racing Club, the pre-2003 touring cars and the Jaguars. That's coming up in about 15 to 20 minutes from now, all being well. So we'll see you later. while we have this short break, we may hear a little more from Pointy, I'm told. I think he's still down in Parc Ferme now. He's got his breath back, and hopefully he can get some more interviews for us shortly.
So we are back down here in Parc Ferme at Brands Hatch, where the weather is still fantastic. Things, as you can hear, calming down. Hello, Dave, come on over. I mean, you don't get an invitation like that very often, do you? It sounds like he needs to speak to us, and so he should. Come on, yeah, let's go and have a look at the truck. Walk and talk. He's already gone. Do you think he wanted an interview? I think he wanted an interview. Let's have a word. In the returning 69, the Monster. A very happy Dave Jenkins, I believe, with the result that you were primed, ready, positioned perfectly to take. Run us through how the last lap of that race went for you.
Well, we were undoubtedly fortunate there then, but we were close enough to capitalise on it.
You've still got to be there, haven't you? Yeah.
You've absolutely got to be in it to win it, haven't you? And well, I was able to match Ryan's lap times early on in the race, and then my tyres went away a little bit on about lap sort of 8 to 10, and then I just calmed down, composed myself, and we were just close enough that with the yellow flags and the back markers, we were able to just get close enough to do the job.
That was great, and that is it. I mean, it's all well and good saying, oh well, yeah, because the first guy dropped back. Well, you've still got to be there. You've still got to be close enough, and it all happened so quickly for that much change to happen in just half a lap, essentially, just before the last bend, just before the finish line. Incredible composure, and yeah, a good bit of a show of stamina as well, and pace throughout the whole race. Very, very minute difference between the lap times. So again, we've spoken to a few other drivers that are talking about the tyres. Are we going to try some different pressures if the weather stays the same tomorrow, or is it what's your strategy for that?
We're just going to put some new ones on for the morning now. Yeah, we've been working with the pressures, and I think that's where the strength came from early on in the race, and then it just went away a little bit in the end. So we've got a bit to learn with them yet.
Yeah, so make your stake early on at the moment is the game to play, and then just hold on for dear life near the end.
Definitely, yeah.
So hopefully not much work to do tonight other than changing some tyres, giving it a clean?
No, we're going to give it a right good service and give it some love, and the team have worked so hard to get us here, and it's the first time for a long time I've been racing without the family, so they're all back at home rooting on for us. So
hopefully watching the live stream, of course.
Yeah, hopefully watching the live stream. So hello,
hi everybody,
George and Mummy. Yeah, definitely. There you go. So hopefully watching the live stream, and young Will, my nephew, he's at Alton Park. He's had a disappointment today, 2 pole positions and a breakdown. So we're going to see if he can bring some silverware home on Monday for us as well.
Well, you can compare trophies in a clean way, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic. Well, great effort. Thank you very much for a fantastic show. And we'll get you some silverware handed out for you to take home this weekend. Dave Jenkins in the 69. Let's go and see how good. Thank you for speaking to us, Dave. Let's go and have a chat with Simon Reed if we can find him. Is he about? Can we find him? Where is he? Oh, here he is. There we go. You've just got to look above everybody else and you'll be able to see him. Simon, we spoke to your partner in crime, Steve Powell, moments ago. Yeah. That was a race to behold. It truly was. How was it for you?
No, brilliant. Brilliant. To be fair, Steve's a master around here. I'll be honest. He is literally the master, being local as well. He's got this circuit going buttoned up. But no, just keep going at it. We had a good tussle, a few close encounters and a little bit of rubbing, but nothing major. Kept it clean and just a little bit of pressure here and there. We just managed to get the gun on him out the last corner.
Yeah, you did just squeeze it past, and it was lap after lap. We were thinking, is it this one? Is it this one? And then, there you go, just past him.
It just shocked me a bit being up with obviously Adam Bint on the top corner, second corner.
Yeah, I think that threw a lot of people out. The yellow flags really got in the way for that corner.
Yeah, because you got the run up, did all the groundwork, and then obviously you're having to back
Yeah,
off because
yeah.
you've got the yellow and black
Not
flag,
allowed
but that's
past at all.
live, so it just makes it a bit more fun, doesn't it?
Yeah, certainly got to make it up on the downward hill.
Yeah.
Late braking, he's tricky on that corner though.
Yeah, it is, mate.
So
yeah.
technical difficulties from first race, we've sorted those now.
Yeah,
We're back on track.
Just crack on and get learning the truck a bit, and
There
jobs
we
are
go.
good.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much, Simon Reed. Good for talking to us, and we'll let you clean and sheen and put new bumpers on Craig's. We've got. Oh yeah, Jock. Of course. Come on, let's go and say hello to Jock, because he is one of our favourite drivers north of the border. And there's Emma. That's Emma Tyra, by the way, in the background. She works for Trucksport UK. She hates being on camera, but Brands Hatch caps.
Nice.
Oh, it's nice. That's brilliant. I like the leaves on it and things. Leaves. No, makes it look a little bit silly if I'm honest. But anyway, Jock. Another great.
Silly. Yeah, that's good coming from him.
No, you see, when you are the silliest looking person, you're allowed to grade others. That's how it works. Good weekend so far for you,
Yeah,
Jock.
good, brilliant. Struggled there, changed the setup a little bit, dampers, pressures. I think I may run out of water there because I had the intercooler sprayers on for a bit of time to get the temperature out the intercooler, and then towards the end my brakes was going up again, so I think I've run out of water, so I need to look at the water delivery. The first bit of the race was okay, but the group ones, there was a spin-off, so they were coming through, so you've got to give them room to get through, and all the time John's getting further away.
Yeah.
And then my tyres was getting hotter, so it was a knock-on, but great, I'm happy. It's
I mean, there were
points.
two Division 1 drivers between you and John Powell pretty much the whole race.
Yeah.
What's it like? I mean, why are they there? Obviously, there's certain incidents that can cause Division 1 drivers to drop back, but what's your opinion on why they're there?
No, I think that's all that happened. There was a spin-off at Clearways in the first lap, so we nicked past, they got going. They're obviously that couple of seconds a lap quicker, so they're going to come through. You're trying to have your race with John to a point, although he was going well there. I'll give him it again. And you've got to give them room to get past, and it's quite difficult. So that was good. Enjoyed it.
Yeah.
We've got some points, so
It's
better
certainly,
last
yeah.
year.
And it's been nice weather. We're all going to bed dry tonight, hopefully, and another day of racing tomorrow.
Brilliant, yeah.
Yeah,
Go and
so-
tweak it and try again tomorrow. Eh?
So you got to close your hose a bit, not as
Close
much
my
water.
hose.
Close your hose a bit. There we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks,
Jock Borthwick, thank you very much for joining us.